Regina McCann-Hess, President of Forge Wealth Management, and welcome to our Women in Wealth series. Today, we're going to talk about financial issues as retirement draws near. So after years and years of saving and planning for retirement, you may be relieved and excited to realize that you can actually finally afford to stop working. Now, careful planning in the months leading up to retirement can help ensure a smooth transition from employee to retiree. Now, if you have decided to retire, you have probably already addressed a host of financial questions and concerns with your financial advisor. You've inventoried all of your investments and your retirement plan and your Social Security benefits to determine that you can actually afford to leave the workforce. You've also probably already decided on an initial annual withdrawal amount that you feel you can take from your investments every year without a substantial risk of depleting your accounts before you die. Now, if you are under age 65 and ineligible for Medicare, you would most certainly have determined how you will cover your health insurance needs during those years. Now that you've thought about all these things, now your attention naturally has shifted to making lifestyle decisions. How will you occupy your time? Will you start volunteer work? How frequently will you travel? Will you spend winters in a warmer climate? I know I will. I'm all in for that one. While it's easy to become preoccupied with all these exciting possibilities, you cannot overlook the fact that not all of your financial preparations have been made. The period of transitioning from the workforce to retirement will itself present a whole series of financial issues to address. Now, we're going to talk about several suggestions to think about as you work with your financial advisor to make the transition run as smoothly as possible. One of the first suggestions that we make is to reduce or eliminate your credit card debt. And I know you're tired of hearing me talking about getting rid of your credit card debt, but a high balance on a credit card can translate to a monthly bill of possibly several $100s to several $1,000s. So paying that bill may require you to withdraw more from your investments each year and potentially deplete your nest egg faster. So you'll probably never regret eliminating the burden of that high credit card balance, even if doing so requires that you stay in the workforce a few extra months. Next, you want to get advice on how to take payouts from your pension plan. Now, today, defined contribution plans such as 401k plans have become more common than traditional pension plans, which are known as defined benefit plans. And they actually pay you a fixed amount every month. But if you work for a company or lucky enough to work for a company that offers an old style pension plan, you may have a choice about how your monthly benefit will be calculated. For example, if you're married, the normal benefit will be based on the joint life expectancy of you and your spouse. However, there are other options such as a monthly benefit based only on your life expectancy if your spouse were to give consent. Now, generally, the option based on a single life expectancy will offer a higher monthly benefit, and the option based on the joint life expectancy will provide lifetime income and more security for you and your spouse. So when something happens to you, that some form of payment stream would still continue for your spouse and help them with their income needs. You really should speak with your financial advisor about this before you're making a decision. He or she can take a close look at your plan options and help you select the distribution method that best fits your overall financial goals and plan. Next, you want to carefully weigh your options for handling your mortgage. Now, if you're about to receive a large lump sum distribution from your retirement plan, you may be tempted to use a portion of that money to pay off your house. Now, doing so could reduce your monthly benefits substantially. But again, it may be worth your while to consult somebody before making such a big decision. The next thing you want to do is ease your way into your new lifestyle. When you're ready to embark on that new phase of life, you may feel it's time to leave all the old lifestyle behind. But when making a dramatic change, such as like selling your house and putting down stakes in a new part of the country, you may want to make that a gradual step. A consideration would be to rent for the first winter, and that may help you determine if you're ready to leave the old neighborhood completely behind. And it also could help you determine if you really do like that area that you've been thinking about all these years. You might be surprised with the answer. So, trying on that new lifestyle before you commit could help you reduce the odds you will later regret your decision. The next thing I want you to think about is to develop an appropriate asset allocation strategy for your investments. A generation ago, retirees could shift most or all their assets into a conservative investment, such as a bond. But these investments could provide income and principal that they need. But with earlier retirement age and longer lifespans, today's retirees often need the potential of principal growth that stocks have historically provided. So, as you prepare to transition in the retirement, you will want to meet with your financial advisor to discuss how you will allocate your investment holdings. You may want to consider following a diversification strategy that involves three basic principles. First principle: allocate across the major asset classes: stocks, bonds, and cash, taking into consideration the amount of time you have to invest before you retire. Second strategy: diversify among the various classes to gain exposure to various investment styles, such as value and growth, market sectors, and government versus corporate bonds. Third, you want to rebalance your investments on a regular schedule to ensure that you maintain your desired allocation. Now, keep in mind that no investment strategy, including asset allocation, can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss. And also, all investments carry a certain amount of risk, including the possible loss of principal amount invested. Next, you want to select which accounts you will withdraw from first. As a general rule, if you're under age 72, it may make the most sense to withdraw money from your taxable accounts first. Taking money out of your non retirement accounts will allow you to keep deferring taxes on the annual earnings and growth of the IRAs that you own. But again, you will want to consult with your financial advisor to determine if this general rule applies to you. Now, with your financial advisor and your tax advisor's help, you can work out an initial schedule of withdrawals from various accounts that are appropriate for your situation. Next, you want to balance your income needs with your estate planning goals. Now, any dreams you have of leaving a financial legacy for your children also affect the retirement planning decisions you make. Money left in an IRA, for example, could bring greater tax consequences for your children than money in taxable accounts would. Now, here again, the common wisdom of tapping taxable accounts first may not apply because, in the interest of reducing the tax burden on your children, you may prefer to take money out of your IRA before touching the taxable accounts. And of course, you want to enjoy the ride. The job of planning for retirement never ends. Each year, you want to check in with your financial advisor to make sure your financial strategy is performing as expected and make any adjustments that may be needed to help you stay on track. Still, those decisions you make in the final months leading up to retirement will have a considerable impact. So get them right, and you will maybe one of those retirees who can honestly proclaim that retirement is all they ever dreamed of and more. And we have a few key facts that we want to mention and remind you of. At 59 and a half, you can take distributions from an IRA without penalty. Now, you still will pay the regular income tax on it, but you avoid the 10% penalty tax on it. Next, 72 is now the age at which you must begin to take distributions from a traditional IRA. Also, you want to consider reducing or eliminating credit card debt before you retire. I know I've never said that before. Now, the other thing, make sure to determine which accounts you will withdraw from first. Also, remember to work with your financial advisor to develop an appropriate asset allocation strategy for you and your family and your goals. I want to thank you for joining me. Again, I'm Regina McCann Hess, president of Forge Wealth Management. My website is forgewealth.com. I am on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Forge Wealth, and LinkedIn, Regina McCann Hess. Thank you and have a fabulous night.